विषय केवल 3 विधायकों को पारित करने का नहीं है। विषय देश की आधी आबादी के सम्मान का है, उनकी मर्यादा का है और उनके उज्जवल भविष्य का है। विषय केवल महिलाओं के प्रतिनिधित्व का नहीं है। विषय इस सदन की गरिमा का है, हमारी संवैधानिक प्रतिबद्धताओं का है और लोकतांत्रिक मर्यादाओं को अधिक सशक्त बनाने का है। जब मैं यह बात आपके समक्ष उपस्थापित कर रही हूं तो स्वामी विवेकानंद की पंक्ति याद आ गई। उन्होंने कहा था कि अगर किसी भी समाज की वास्तविक प्रगति का आकलन करना है तो हमें उस समाज में रहने वाली महिलाओं की स्थिति को परखना होगा और तभी हम समझेंगे यह समाज किस प्रकृति का है। लोकतंत्र केवल चुनावी प्रक्रिया नहीं बल्कि प्रतिनिधित्व की एक समावेशी संरचना है। ऐसे में जब आधी आबादी, देश की आधी आबादी, आप समझें, निर्णय के दायरे से बाहर हो जाती है तो निश्चित तौर पर मैं कहूंगी कि लोकतंत्र की गुणवत्ता प्रभावित होती है। यही मुझे रामधारी सिंह दिनकर की 2-3 पंक्तियां याद आ रही हैं। तुम एक अनल कण हो केवल, अनुकूल हवा लेकिन पाकर, छप्पर तक तो तुम जा सकती, ज्वाला प्रचंड फैला सकती, एक नन्ही सी चिंगारी भी। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में लगातार 26 मई 2014 से जब से उन्होंने इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री पद का कार्यभार संभाला और अब तक महिलाओं के लिए, उनके सर्वांगीण विकास के लिए देश में एक अनुकूल वातावरण बनाने की तैयारी की जा रही है और इस बात को हमें मानना होगा और समझना होगा। हमारी नीयत साफ है, नीति स्पष्ट है और नेतृत्व बहुत सुदृढ़ है। The government of our Prime Minister Modi has been able to translate 27 years old promise into reality. Madam Chairperson, you were present and I was present in 1996, that particular midnight when we passed the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. After 27 years, the women of this country waited and this great event had happened, that historic moment. This has left an indelible imprint on my mind. Since 1996, the Women Reservation Bill had remained a symbol of unfulfilled aspiration, and today we can proudly say that this particular house and the other house, the Parliament has taken a decision that 33% of the seats in the Lok Sabha and in all the state assemblies and in the National Capital Territory of Delhi Assembly would be reserved for women. This is a great achievement of the government of Prime Minister Modi, and I can say that this is an achievement of all of us who contributed wholeheartedly to taking the right kind of decision. Madam, since morning I have been sitting here and listening to both the sides, the Treasury benches and the opposition, and I can see some of my friends on the right from the opposition were full of contradictions in their statements. Some said we are delayed, some said why is the government in hurry. Now in 2023 September we passed. In 1996 September, the then Prime Minister Dev Gowda ji had brought it, and for some reason or the other, I'll come to it later, in fact, we could not pass, and I think I don't want to be repetitive. We could not pass the bill. In governance, there are only 2 words, either yes or no. Either we do it or we don't do it, and the other governments did not do. The government of Prime Minister Modi did it. There was a big yes in the midnight of September 2023 when we passed the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Now today, 2 statements coming, delay or not delay. Now the question is, the government wants to implement this bill. This is high time. The women of the country cannot wait. And for that matter, all of us have gathered together to deliberate on the provisions of the 3 bills. In 24, the general elections came, and there is sufficient reason to say that the census and delimitation exercises could not have taken place at that point of time. So I think this is absolutely understandable why the government was not able to implement the thing immediately after 2023, because census and delimitation are big exercises. And now, let me tell you, the government is very keen that it should be implemented, and I think this is the right time when we all gather together and actually support the bills, because we want our women, 273 women, to be seated in this Lok Sabha. Madam Chairperson, it is pertinent to mention here that the three bills will facilitate the process of delimitation. Now here, at the cost of being repetitive, I would like to say that in 1971, the census had taken place. In 1976, on the basis of that census, the delimitation took place. The allocation of seats were done. The territorial jurisdictions of the constituencies were finalized in the year 1976 by the then Delimitation Commission. Now we have to understand, after a passage of 50 years, this government, the government of Prime Minister Modi, is revisiting the allocation of seats, and it has told very categorically, very convincingly, that there would be 50% increase in the number of seats which are there with the state assemblies and in the Lok Sabha and in the state assemblies. So this is amply clear that we are not going by the census 2011 figures to decide on the allocation of seats. I think this has to be kept in mind. This is just 50% increase, 50% addition to whatever number of seats that we have, and we have heard our Honourable Home Minister and our Honourable Prime Minister in the morning. Now there are a couple of features all of us are aware of, but please allow me a couple of minutes to dwell on the features of these three bills. The first bill, very important, the Constitution Amendment Bill, the 131st Constitution Amendment Bill, talks of amendment of 6 articles of the Constitution, 81, 82, 170, 330, 332 and 334A. Now, number 2, extremely important, is the delimitation exercise. We have to understand, my dear friends, both right and left, unless and until we have the delimitation exercise, we just cannot go for reservation of seats. Which seat do we reserve? What is the allocation for all the states? And what are the seats that we are going to reserve for women? And among those seats, what are the seats that we are reserving for SC and ST? That's the question, and that is why 3 bills have been brought by the government. We must commend the efforts of the government because they have adopted a very pragmatic approach while drafting the bills. I would request all my colleagues here to go through the statement of object and reasons that are appended to all the 3 bills. Now, Delimitation Commission. Now, there is something extremely uncomfortable in the air of the room when we talk of Delimitation Commission. Now, this will be the 5th time when the Delimitation Commission will be formed. Since independence till date, 4 delimitation commissions have been set up by this Parliament, 1952, 1963, 1973 and 2002. Now, there will be the 5th Delimitation Commission with 3 members, as we know, the Supreme Court judge, former or serving, Chief Election Commissioner or Election Commissioner nominated by him or her, and the State Election Commissioner of the state concerned. Now, Madam Chairperson, why did I mention all this? There is a reason to it, and I would definitely like my friends to understand. I want to allay all apprehensions regarding the way the Delimitation Commission would function. Delimitation Commission has been there. There were 4 that were there, and now the 5th one would come. And I must tell you that 5 MLAs and 5 MPs of each state would be duly consulted when the territorial jurisdictions of the constituencies would be revisited by the Commission in different states. So there is absolutely no cause of worry on that score. Very important part of my submission I am arriving at. Please give me some time. Today, my esteemed colleagues must know India is lagging behind. I feel very sad when I talk of India in this language. The Indian Parliament is lagging behind because we have just 13.6% of the parliamentarians in the Lok Sabha as women. And if you look at all the state legislative assemblies, we have just around 10% MLAs as women. We are definitely much less than other countries. The global average is 27.5%. This is definitely a cause of concern, and that is why these bills, and that is why we need to have the implementation process properly understood and agreed upon and implemented on the ground. This is high time. Madam, I would also like to mention the situation in some of the countries. While we are at 13.6% in our parliament, women, Rwanda has 64% women parliamentarians. Sweden has 47%, New Zealand 45%, Norway 44%, Australia 38%, and our close neighbor, Nepal, has 33%. When these countries have so many number of women in their parliaments, why do we have just 13.6%? That's the question, and that answer must come from all those people who have been there for quite some time, my friends to my right. Why should Indian Parliament lag behind? We have to give visibility and power to our mothers, daughters, who actually slog for the nation every day. Now, Honorable Prime Minister's unwavering commitment to women's empowerment is something which I need not talk about much. It's like showing light to the sun. Since 2014, under the guidance of our Honorable PM, many women-centric programs have been initiated in the country, with more than 3 crore Lakhpati Didis, 10 crore women in these self-help groups, 68% of Mudra loans having gone to women, 11 crore LPG connections given under PM Ujjwala Yojana. The list is long. Give me just 30 seconds more. The current approach of the Congress and other opposition parties baffles me. They blocked the bill for 27 years and they are blocking the bill now. The UPA government passed the women reservation bill in 2010 in the Rajya Sabha. What prevented them from getting this bill passed in the Lok Sabha, since they were there heading the government, rather running the government till 2014? So this is something which is not understood by people like us. It was very easy for them to get that passed between 2010 and 2014 in the Lok Sabha. Madam Chairperson, please allow me to talk about the Shah Banu case. The Shah Banu episode shows how Congress has repeatedly sacrificed women's rights to short-term vote bank calculations. Today, the same set of opposition parties are creating hurdles. Please allow me to call you anti-woman. Even if it hurts you, I will call you anti-woman. Being a woman parliamentarian, I know how very important it is to increase the percentage of women in the Lok Sabha and in the state legislative assemblies in our country. Madam Adhyaksh Mahodaya, इस विधेयक पर कई बार चर्चाएं हुई, समितियां बनी, रिपोर्ट आई, लेकिन परिणाम नहीं आया। हर बार उम्मीद थी, हर बार निराशा मिली। अब हम एक नए भारत में हैं, यही समय है, सही समय है। वक्तव्य शेष करती हूं, लेकिन गुजारिश करूंगी कि ये जो बिल्स हैं, महिलाओं के लिए जो बिल्स लाए गए हैं, कार्यान्वयन कैसे होगा, इसके लिए जो बिल्स लाए गए हैं, इसमें बाधा सृष्टि न करें। हमें व्यवधान नहीं, हमें समाधान चाहिए। और हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी की 2 पंक्तियां हैं जो रखना चाहूंगी। नीड़ न दो चाहे टहनी का, आश्रय छिन्न भिन्न कर डालो, लेकिन पंख दिए हैं तो आकुल उड़ान में विघ्न न डालो। हमें व्यवधान नहीं, हमें समाधान चाहिए, हमें सहायता करें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। I solicit the support of all my esteemed colleagues of the Lok Sabha. Thank you.